Report says we are at stage 5, paragraph page 348. Last
Yeah.
headword was to be plus past participle, full stage
Mm,
revision.
mm,
Okay, so let's
right.
start from where you ended.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my car. Okay, here we go. How do we form the passive voice? How do we form the passive voice? We form the
We
passive
form the
voice
passive
with the
voice
verb to
with
be
the verb to
and a
be
past
and a
participle.
past participle.
Give me some examples. Give me some examples, please. My car was
My
washed
car was
last month.
washed last month.
Many computers
Many
are made in
computers are
China.
made in China.
The students
The
will be taught
students
by the
will be
teacher.
sold by the teacher.
Very good. Okay, now I'm going to give you a sentence in the active voice and I want you to put it in the passive voice, okay?
Mm,
So let's talk
okay.
about John. Okay, here we go. John
Mm.
eats the pasta. John eats the pasta. The pasta
The
is
pasta
eaten by
is
John.
eaten by John.
John ate the pasta. John ate the pasta. The pasta
The
was
pasta
eaten
was
by John.
eaten by John.
John has eaten the pasta. John has eaten the pasta. The pasta
The
has been
pasta has
eaten by
been
John.
eaten by John.
John will eat the pasta. John will eat the pasta. The pasta
The
will be
pasta will
eaten by
be
John.
eaten by John.
John is eating the pasta. John is eating the pasta. The pasta
The
is
pasta
being eaten
is being
by
eaten
John.
by John.
Right? John was eating the pasta. John was eating the pasta. The pasta
The
was
pasta
being
was
eaten
being
by
eaten by
John.
John.
John would eat the pasta. John would eat the pasta. The pasta would
The
be
pasta
eaten
will
by
be
John.
eaten by John.
Very good. Okay, now let's practice with some different sentences. Here we go. I clean my car every Saturday. I clean my car every Saturday. My car
My
is
car
cleaned by
is
me
cleaned by
every
me
Saturday.
every Saturday.
He forgot him. He forgot him. He was forgotten
He
by
was
her.
forgotten by her.
My boss is going to write that email. My boss is going to write that email. That email
That
is going
email
to be
is
written
going to be
by my
written by
boss.
my boss.
Well, we are fixing the car. We are fixing the car. The car is
The
being
car
fixed
is
by
being
us.
fixed by us.
They have followed all the advice. They have followed all the advice. All the
All
advice
the
has been
advice
followed
has
by
been
them.
followed by them.
Very good. Do I force you to give long answers during the lesson? Do I force you to give long answers during the lesson? Yes, you force
Yes,
me
you
to
force
give long
me to give
answers
long
during the
answers
lesson.
during the lesson
Why? Why? Because it is
because
important
it is
to speak
important
as
to
much as
speak as
possible.
much as possible.
Very good. When you were a child, did your parents make you eat your vegetables? When you were a child, did your parents make you eat your vegetables? Yes or no? When
Yes,
I was a
when I
child,
was a
my
child,
parents
my
made me
parents
eat
made
my
me eat
vegetables.
my vegetables.
What kind of films make you laugh? What kind of films make you laugh? The kind of
The
films
kind of
that make me
films
laugh
that make
are
me laugh are comedy films.
very good. What is a snack? What is a snack? A snack
A
is
snack
something small
is
that
something
people
small
eat
that
between
people eat
meals,
between
like a
meals,
sandwich
like a
or a bag of
sandwich
crisps.
or a bag of crisps.
Very good. Which would you prefer as a snack during a morning break? A bag of crisps or some biscuits? Which would you prefer as a snack during a morning break? A bag of crisps or some biscuits? I prefer
I prefer some
to
biscuits
a bag of
to a
crisps
bag of
as a
crisps
snack
as a snack
during a morning break.
during a morning break.
Very good. Where were you born? Where were you born? I was born
I
in.
was born in Japan.
How soon after you were born did you learn to walk? How soon after you were born did you learn to walk? I learned to
I
walk
learned to
about a
walk
year
about
after
a
I
year
was born.
after I was born.
Very good. Do you like reading books with stories about murders in them? Do you like reading books with stories about murders in them? Yes or no? I
No,
don't
I
like
don't
reading
like
books with
reading books
stories
with
about
stories
murders in
about
them.
murders in them.
Very good. Would you like to see inside a prison? Would you like to see inside a prison? Yes or no? I
No,
wouldn't like
I
to see
wouldn't like to
inside a
see
prison.
inside a prison
Why not? Why not? Because it'd make
because
me
it,
feel
it makes me feel
very unhappy.
very unhappy.
Very good. What's a pupil? What's a pupil? A pupil
A
is a
pupil
child who's
is
in
a
school.
child who's
In school.
who's in school.
Wait, one more. A pupil is a
A
child
pupil is a
who's in
child
school.
who's in school.
Do most pupils in your country have to wear a uniform? Do most pupils in your country have to wear a uniform? Yes or no?
Yes,
Most pupils
most
in my
pupils
country
in my
have to
country
wear a
have to
uniform.
wear a uniform.
Very good. What do we call the part of a tree that's in the land? What do we call the part of a tree that's in the land? We call
We
the
call
part of
the
a
part
tree
of a tree
that's in the
in the
land,
that's in the land,
the roots.
the roots.
Very good. Have you got a good memory? Have you got a good memory? Yes or no? I've
Yes,
got a
I've
good
got
memory.
a good memory.
Very good. What can we use instead of I'm not, you aren't, he isn't, etc.? What can we use instead of I'm not, you aren't, he isn't, etc.? Instead of I'm not,
Instead of
you
I'm
aren't,
not,
he
you
isn't,
aren't,
etc.
he isn't,
We can
etc.,
use I'm not,
we can use
you're
I'm
not,
not,
he's
you're
not,
not, he's
etc.
not, etc.
Very good. If you want to go from one side of the road to the other, what must you do? If you want to go from one side of the road to the other, what must you do? If I want to
If I
go
want to
from one
fall
side of the
from one
road
side of
to
the
the
road
other,
to the
I must
other,
cross the
I
road.
must cross the road.
What must you do before crossing the road? What must you do before crossing the road? I must look
I
both
must
ways
look both
before
ways
crossing the road.
before crossing the road.
But if you wanted to go from there to, let's say, Okinawa, would you have to cross the sea or would you be able to go all the way by land? If you wanted to go from there to Okinawa, would you have to cross the sea or would you be able to go all the way by land? If I wanted
If
to
I
go from
wanted to
here
go from
to
here to
Okinawa, I'd
Okinawa, I
have
must
I'd have
I
to
have
cross the sea.
to cross the sea.
I won't be able
I want to be able
to go all the way
to
by
go
land.
all the way by land.
Very good. What was the first thing you thought of when you woke up this morning? What was the first thing you thought of when you woke up this morning? The first thing
The
I
first
thought
thing
of
I thought
when I
of
woke up
when I woke
this
up
morning
this
was
morning was walk.
very good. Okay, what's the opposite of the word dangerous? What's the opposite of the word dangerous? The opposite
The
of the
opposite
word
of the
dangerous
word
is
dangerous
safe.
is safe.
Very good. Do you think it's safe to shop online? Do you think it's safe to shop online? Yes or no? I
Yes,
think
I
it's safe
think it's
to shop
safe
online.
to shop online.
Very good. Do parents often worry about their children's safety? Do parents often worry about their children's safety? Yes, parents
Yes,
often worry
parents
about
often worry
their
about
children's
their
safety.
children's safety.
Is it safe for young children to cross the road on their own? Is it safe for young children to cross the road on their own? No, it isn't
No,
safe
it isn't
for young
safe for
children
young
to cross the
children to
road
cross the
on their
road
own.
on their own.
Do you like going on holiday on your own? Do you like going on holiday on your own? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I
like
don't
going on
like
holiday
going on
on my
holiday
own.
on my
I
own.
prefer going in
I prefer
company.
going in company.
Very good. What's the past of the verb to lie? What's the past of the verb to lie? The past of
The
the verb
past
to
of the
lie
verb to
is
lie
lay.
is lay.
How long did you lie in bed for last night? How long did you lie in bed for last night? I lay in bed
I lay
for
in bed for 7 hours
last night.
last night.
Very good. When do people use the word sir and madam? When do people use the word sir and madam? People use the
People
word
use
sir
the
and
word
madam
sir and
to be
madam
polite
to be
when they are
polite
speaking
when
to
they are
their
speaking
customers
to
in a
their
shop,
customers in a
their
shop,
officers in the
their
army,
officers in the
or their
army,
teachers at
or their
school.
teachers at school.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Excuse me, sir. Can
Excuse
I
me,
help you?
sir. Can I help you?
Very good. When do we use the words gentleman and lady? When do we use the words gentleman and lady? We use
We
the words
use the word
gentleman and lady
gentleman and
instead of
lady
man
instead
and
of
woman
man and
when we
woman
want to sound
when we
polite.
want to sound polite.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Which of these
Which
two
of these
gentlemen
two
gave you the
gentlemen
book?
gave you the
And
book?
will you ask
And will
that
you
lady
ask
her name,
the
please?
lady her name, please?
Very good. What's your title? What's your title? My title is.
My title is Miss.
Give me an example of sir and lady used as titles. Give me an example of sir and lady used as titles, please. Some examples.
Some
of sir and
examples of
lady
sir and
used as
lady
titles
used as
are
title
Sir Paul
are
McCartney
Sir Paul
and Lady
McCartney
Diana.
and Lady Diana.
Very good. Which two countries have the highest standards of living in the world? Which two countries have the highest standards of living in the world? Denmark and
Denmark
Switzerland
and
have the
Switzerland
highest standards
have the highest
of
standard
living in the world.
of living in the world.
Right? What's the standard height for a woman in your country? What's the standard height for a woman in your country? The standard height
The standard
for a woman
height
in my
for a
country
woman in
is
my country is
100
160
centimeters.
60 centimeters.
Very good. Okay. When do we use the expression would you say? When do we use the expression would you say? We use the
We
expression
use the
would you
expression
say
would you
when
say
we ask
when
somebody
we ask
for his
somebody
opinion
or his
about
opinion
something.
about something.
Well, would you say that the king's life was better than that of the average man? Would you say that the king's life was better than that of the average man? Yes or no?
Yes,
I'd say that
I
a
think
king's
I say
life
that a king's
was
life
better than
was
that
better
of
than
the
that
average
of
man.
the average man.
Very good. Which tense do we use after the expression would you say? Which tense do we use after the expression would you say? We use the
We
past
use
tense
the
after
past
the
tense
expression
after the
would you
expression
say?
would you say.
What would you say was the best way to remember something? What would you say was the best way to remember something? I'd say the
I'd
best
say
way to
the best
remember
way to
something
remember
was to
something
repeat it
was
often.
to repeat it often.
Very good. If the sky looks dark and cloudy, do you sometimes decide not to go out? If the sky looks dark and cloudy, do you sometimes decide not to go out? Yes. If the
Yes,
sky
if the
looks dark
sky
and
looks
cloudy,
dark and
I
cloudy,
sometimes
I
decide
sometimes
not to
decide
go out.
not to go out.
When your shoes look dirty, what do you do? When your shoes look dirty, what do you do? When my shoes
When my
look
shoes
dirty,
look
I
dirty,
clean them.
I clean them.
Very good. Do we pay the driver when we get in a taxi? Do we pay the driver when we get in a taxi? No, we don't
No,
pay
we
the
don't pay
driver
the
when we get
driver
in a
when we
taxi.
get in a
We
taxi.
pay when
We
we get
pay
out
when
of
we
a
get
taxi.
out of a taxi.
In your country, do you have to buy a ticket before getting on a bus? In your country, do you have to buy a ticket before getting on a bus? Yes or no?
No,
In my country,
in my
you don't
country,
have to
you
buy a
don't
ticket
have to buy a
before
ticket
getting on a
before
bus.
getting on a
You can
bus.
just pay
You can just
when you
pay
get on.
when you get on.
Well, how much is the bus fare from your home to your office? How much is the bus fare from your home to your office? The bus fare
The bus
from my
fare
home
from my
to
own
my
home
office
to my
is
office is 210 yen.
expensive. Okay, very good. Has your country got a royal family? Has your country got a royal family? Yes or no? My
Yes,
country's
my
got a
country
royal
got
family.
a loyal family.
Very good. How do we get mud on our shoes? How do we get mud on our shoes? We get mud
We
on
get
our
mud
shoes
on our
by walking
shoes
in the
by walking
countryside
in the
in the
countryside
rain.
in the rain.
Where our famous actors often surrounded by crowds when they go out in public. Our famous actors often surrounded by crowds when they go out in public. Yes, famous
Yes,
actors
famous
are often
actors are
surrounded
often
by
surrounded
crowds
by
when they
crowds
go out
when
in
they
public.
go out in public.
Are the buses in your town usually crowded in the morning? Are the buses in your town usually crowded in the morning? Yes or no? The
Yes,
buses in my
the
town
buses in
are
my
usually
town are
crowded
usually
in the morning.
crowded in the morning.
Very good. Have you ever been the captain of a sports team? Have you ever been the captain of a sports team? Yes or no? I've
Yes,
been the
I've
captain
been the
of a
captain
sports team.
of a sports team.
Tell me the name of a famous sea captain. Tell me the name of a famous sea captain, please. The name of
The
a
name
famous
of
sea
a
captain
famous sea
is
captain
Captain Cook.
is Captain Cook.
Very good. Which is the widest street in the place where you live and which is the narrowest? Which is the widest street in the place where you live and which is the narrowest?
25号線 is the
The
widest
street in the place
street
where I
in the
live.
place where I live,
And
and 駅前通り
is the
is the
narrowest.
narrowest.
Very good. What color is the flag of your country? What color is the flag of your country? The flag of my
The
country
flag of my
is
country is red and white.
Very good. Do you know the origin of your national flag? Do you know the origin of your national flag? Yes or no? I
No,
don't know
I
the
don't know
origin
the
of our
origin
national
of
flag.
our national flag.
Very good. Name an animal that lives on grass. Name an animal that lives on grass, please. A horse is
A
an
horse
animal
is
that
an
lives on
animal that
grass.
lives on glass.
What happens to grass if there's no rain? What happens to grass if there's no rain? If there's no rain,
If there's no
grass
rain,
becomes yellow
grass becomes
and then
yellow
it dies.
and then it dies.
Very good. Where is the nearest tower to the place where you live? Where is the nearest tower to the place where you live? The nearest tower
The
to
nearest
the
tower
place
to
where
the
I live
place where
is.
I live is Tsutenkaku.
Very good. Are the streets dry when it rains? Are the streets dry when it rains? No. The
No,
streets aren't
the streets
dry when it
aren't
rains.
dry when it
They're
rains.
wet.
They're wet.
Well, if you walk in the rain without an umbrella, what did happen? If you walk in the rain without an umbrella, what did happen? If I walked
If
in
I
the rain
walked in the
without
lane
an umbrella,
without an
I'd
umbrella,
get wet.
I'd get wet.
If you got wet, what did you have to do with your clothes? If you got wet, what did you have to do with your clothes? If I got wet,
If I got
I'd
wet,
have to take
I'd have to
my
take
clothes off
my clothes
and
off
hang them up to
and hang
dry.
them up to dry.
What's the passive throw? What's the passive throw? The passive throw
The part of
is
flow
through.
is through.
What did happen if I threw a stone at the window? What did happen if I threw a stone at the window? If you
If
threw a
you
stone
threw a
at the
stone
window,
at the
the
window,
window break.
the windows break.
Very good. If your TV is turned up too loud, what do you do? If your TV is turned up too loud, what do you do? If my TV
If my
is turned up
TV
too loud,
is turned up too
I turn
loud,
it down.
I turn it down.
Very good. What are the reflexive pronouns? What are the reflexive pronouns? The reflexive
The
pronouns
reflexive
are
pronouns
myself,
are
yourself,
myself,
himself,
yourself,
herself,
himself, herself,
itself, oneself,
itself, oneself,
ourselves, yourselves,
ourselves,
and themselves.
yourselves, and themselves.
When do we use a reflexive pronoun? When do we use a reflexive pronoun? We use a
We
reflexive
use the
pronoun
reflexive
when the
pronoun
subject and
when the
object
subject
are the
and
same
object
person
are
or
the
thing.
same person or thing.
Is it right to say, I look at me in the mirror? Is it right to say, I look at me in the mirror? No, it isn't
No,
right
it
to say,
isn't right to
I look
say,
at
I
me in
look
the
at
mirror.
me in the mirror,
Why not? Why not? Because the subject
because the
and object
subject
are
and
the
the
same person.
object are the same person.
Very good. What must we say instead? What must we say instead? We must say,
We must
I look
say,
at
I
myself
look at
in the
myself
mirror
in the
instead.
mirror instead.
Do you think it would be easy for me to teach myself Chinese? Do you think it would be easy for me to teach myself Chinese? No, I don't
No,
think
I don't
it would
think
be easy for
it
you
is be easy for
to
you
teach yourself
to
Chinese.
teach yourself Chinese
Why not? Why not? Because Chinese
because
is a
Chinese
difficult
is a
language to
difficult
learn.
language to learn.
Did you wash yourself when you were a baby? Did you wash yourself when you were a baby? No, I
No,
didn't
I
wash
didn't
myself
wash
when I
myself
was a
when
baby.
I was a
My
baby.
mother washed me.
My mother washed me.
What did you do if you saw a man trying to kill himself? What did you do if you saw a man trying to kill himself? If I saw a man
If I saw a
trying
man
to kill himself,
trying to kill
I
himself,
tried to stop
I
him
tried to
or
stop
call the
him
police.
or call the
Have
police.
you ever seen a bird washing itself? Have you ever seen a bird washing itself? Yes or no?
No,
I've never
I've
seen a
never
bird
seen a
washing
bird
itself.
washing itself.
Do you think one can teach oneself a language? Do you think one can teach oneself a language? Yes or no? I
Yes,
think one
I
can
think one
teach
can
oneself
teach
a language.
oneself a language.
What do we carry to protect ourselves from the rain? What do we carry to protect ourselves from the rain? We carry
We
an
carry
umbrella
an
to protect
umbrella to
ourselves
protect
from the
ourselves
rain.
from the rain.
Very good. What does the word thorough mean? What does the word thorough mean? The word thorough
The word
means
solo
complete.
means complete.
In which season of the year do people generally give their houses a thorough cleaning? In which season of the year do people generally give their houses a thorough cleaning? People generally
People
give their
generally
houses
give
a
their
thorough
houses
cleaning
a thorough
in
cleaning
spring.
in spring.
If you jump into the sea, would you get thoroughly wet? If you jump into the sea, would you get thoroughly wet? Yes, if I
Yes,
jump
if I
into the
jumped
sea,
into the
I'd get
sea,
thoroughly
I
wet.
get thoroughly wet.
What kind of things make you thoroughly tired? What kind of things make you thoroughly tired? The kind of
The
things
kind
that
of
make me
things that make
thoroughly
me
tired
thoroughly
are
tired are
what makes you tired?
working, working
For a long time,
for a long time,
studying a lot
studying a
without a
lot
break,
without a break,
and not enough sleep.
and not enough sleep.
Very good. If you drove a car on the left-hand side of the road in America instead of on the right, what did happen? If you drove a car on the left-hand side of the road instead of on the right, what did happen? If I drove a
If I
car
drove a
on the
car
left-hand
on
side
the left
of the
hand
road
side of the
instead
road
of on the right,
instead of on the
I'd
right,
have an
I'd
accident.
have an accident.
Have you ever seen an accident on the road? Have you ever seen an accident on the road? Yes or no? I've
Yes,
seen an
I've
accident
seen an
on the
accident
road.
on the road.
If you took something by accident that didn't belong to you, what did you do? If you took something by accident that didn't belong to you, what did you do? If I took
If
something
I took
by
something
accident
by
that didn't
accident
belong
that
to me,
didn't belong to
I'd
me,
return it.
I'd return it.
Very good. Do people become careless when they're in great danger? Do people become careless when they're in great danger? No. People
No,
don't become
people don't
careless
become
when
careless
they're
when they're
in great
in
danger.
great danger.
They become very
They
careful.
become very careful.
Do you write carefully? Do you write carefully? Yes or no? I
No,
don't
I
write
don't
carefully.
write carefully.
I write
I
carelessly.
write carelessly.
What could happen if you are careless when crossing the road? What could happen if you are careless when crossing the road? If I were
If
careless
I were
when
careless
crossing the road,
when crossing the
I could
road,
have an
I could
accident.
have an accident.
Of all the people you know, who dresses the most carelessly? Of all the people you know, who dresses the most carelessly? Of all the people I
Of all the
know,
people I know,
who?
my I
I
I
dress I
I
dress the
dress
most
I
carelessly.
dress the most
I
carelessly.
don't believe you. Okay, next. Do you own all the clothes you're wearing or do any of them belong to somebody else? Do you own all the clothes you're wearing or do any of them belong to somebody else? I own all
I
the
own
clothes
all the
I'm wearing.
clothes I'm wearing.
What would you like to own more than anything else? What would you like to own more than anything else? I'd like to own
I'd like to own healthy life.
no, I'd like to own
I'd like to
a
own
good health
health, a good
more
health
than anything
more
else.
than anything else.
Have Who owns the place where you live? Who owns the place where you live? I own.
My mother
My mother owns the
owns
place where I
the
live.
place where I live.
Very good. Do people in your country usually carry on working after they reach the age of 65? Do people in your country usually carry on working after they reach the age of 65? Yes or no?
No,
People in my country
people in my
don't
country
usually
don't
carry on
usually
working
carry on
after
working
they reach
after they
the
reach
age of
the
65.
age of
They
65.
retire.
They retire.
Very good. Have you ever won a prize for anything? Have you ever won a prize for anything? Yes or no? I've
Yes,
won a
I've
prize
won a
for
prize
something.
for something.
What did you won? I won a.
I won a 100-meter race.
Oh, very good. So you get a medal.
Yeah,
Very good. Give me a sentence with the words to meaning also. Give me a sentence with the word to meaning also. He wants a biscuit.
he wants a
And I
biscuit,
want one
and
too.
I want one too.
Very good. Give me a sentence with the words at least in it. Give me a sentence with the words at least in it, please. I've asked him
I've
at
asked
least
him
six
at
times.
least six
And each
times,
time
and
he
each
has
time
forgotten.
he has
He
forgotten.
didn't do very
He
well
he didn't do very
in
well
the exam,
in the
but
exam,
at least he
but at
passed.
least he passed.
Very good. Which is one of the most widely used English adjectives? Which is one of the most widely used English adjectives? One of the most
One of the
widely
most
used
widely
English
used
adjectives
English
is
adjectives
nice.
is nice.
Is English the most widely spoken language in the world? Is English the most widely spoken language in the world? Yes, English
Yes,
is the
English
most
is the
widely
most
spoken
widely
language
spoken
in the world.
language in the world.
Why are good manners so important in life? Why are good manners so important in life? Good manners are
Good
so
manners are
important
so
in life
important in
because
life
they make life
because they
easier
make life
and more
easier
pleasant.
and more pleasant.
What do we mean when we say that somebody has the manners of a pig? What do we mean when we say that somebody has the manners of a pig? When we say that
When we say
somebody
that
has the
somebody
manners of a
has the
pig,
manners of a
we
pig,
mean that
we
they
mean
have
that
very bad
they have
manners.
very bad
Do
manners.
people in very hot countries dress in the same manner as people in very cold countries? Do people in very hot countries dress in the same manner as people in very cold countries? No.
No,
People in very
people
hot
in
countries.
very hot
Okay,
countries.
but we can't finish that anymore, so we stop there.
Okay.
But very good. Excellent
Thank
practice for
you.
today.